This is your $1,200 stimulus check update and second stimulus check update for Monday, July 20th. Hey everyone, Matt here, back for another Blind to Billionaire video. But hey, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button down below. All right, now that you're subscribed, let's get right into the content. First, I want to talk about some information that I read online over the weekend. And essentially, basically what that was saying is the IRS and other government agencies are recognizing like, hey, we recognize that a lot of people have not received their payments yet. So apparently they're going to start expediting the process of determining eligibility and pushing those payments out to people a little bit faster. Now, I just want to say, so here we are in mid to late-ish July already, and they're saying this, so I feel like we've heard these lines before. So just take it with a grain of salt and just recognize like we've heard this before. It's the same old song and dance, but hopefully they're actually doing something. But the best thing about it is that they actually recognize there's a lot of people that haven't received their payments yet. So I think that's like the best takeaway out of that. All right, next I want to talk about, just really briefly, I've had a lot of people in the comments saying, I need to quick get my payment because they're running out of money or I'm running out of time. So here's what I want to say to that. First of all, there's no such thing as running out of money. And the reason I say that is because you have an infinite supply when you have a printing press. And that's exactly what we're dealing with here. So don't worry about them running out of money. Secondly, you have a lot of time to get your stimulus payment. The reason I say that is you have the entire year of 2020 to get your stimulus check. Why is that? Because this is an advanced tax credit. Now, what does that mean? It's a tax credit that they're giving you advance on. So I'm sure you've heard of this before, like a cash advance. That's exactly what this is. So early next year in 2021, when you file your 2020 tax return, there's going to be a tax credit on there. If you get the stimulus check, that's what it is. It's the advance to that $1,200. Well, if you don't get your check sometime in 2020, you would see it on your 2020 tax return early in 2021. So just recognize, like if you don't get your stimulus check, it's still going to show up as a tax credit on your return. All right, next I want to talk about the $500 stimulus check for the dependents, the additional $500 for the dependents. Now, they said, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, maybe something like that, that those additional $500 would be distributed later in July. Well, some of you could be seeing those payments as early as this week. So that's pretty exciting. But again, I just want to say no promises. The reason I say that is because, like I said just a few minutes ago, we've heard these lines before. It's the same old song and dance. Honestly, I don't believe it anymore. If it arrives, that would be amazing, and I think that would be great. But if it doesn't arrive, I won't be surprised one bit because we've heard all this before and it just hasn't come through. So I'm really hesitant about announcing dates. Again, I don't have an exact date. They just said in the end of July. If I had an exact date, again, I'd be hesitant about saying it simply because we've heard exact dates thrown out before by these government agencies saying, hey, all SSI recipients will get their payment by May 29th. Well, May 29th comes and goes, and there's still tons of you that still haven't received it. So just recognize, like, same old song and dance. If it comes, that'd be great. But at the same time, if it doesn't, just don't be surprised. But anyway, those extra $500 for the dependents should be distributed this week or next week. So that's great. Be sure to continue watching your accounts as well as your mailbox. It could arrive in one of three ways: a direct deposit onto your Direct Express card or your bank account. It could arrive as a paper check or one of those prepaid debit cards. So just be on the lookout for anything coming your way, like some money, some green, or some plastic, I guess. All right, let's talk about the second stimulus check quick. So what's nice is the Senate is back in session today after being on vacation for 2 weeks. So I imagine they're probably not getting a whole lot done today. They're probably all sitting around talking about their vacation and how they just sat around on the beach for 2 weeks, not doing anything. So I imagine there's not going to be a whole lot getting done today, but they should be talking about some important information this week and next week. In fact, the Treasury Secretary came out and he said this next stimulus package, including the stimulus checks, should be negotiated and determined by the end of July. Now, that gives them 2 weeks, this week and next week. Do I believe it? I'm skeptical. But they need to figure something out either this week or next week or the first week of August. The reason for that is once August 7th comes around, they're on vacation again for, I believe, 3 weeks until basically the end of August. So that they need to figure it out now because like time's ticking. People are waiting here. We need answers, and they've kind of said like, hey, we need to hammer this out. But just remember, it passed the House I want to say like a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. This current stimulus package that's in the Senate right now, it passed the House, which is controlled by the Democrats, and now it's in the Senate, which is controlled by Republicans. So, I mean, I'm not picking sides. All I'm basically saying is that it was passed by one party, now it's in the other party's hands right now, like basically the ball's in their court. And I'm guessing over the next 2 weeks, it's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of back and forth negotiations between both parties determining like, okay, what are we going to do here with this package? How much money are we going to give in the stimulus check? If there is another stimulus check, which I'm betting with a very high likelihood there will be. But again, we don't know for sure. It's still in the package and they're talking about it. So we're going to be watching it very closely. I am for sure. And any information that we get on it, we will definitely let you know right away. I've also had a lot of people asking me in the comment section, is child support going to be able to take the second stimulus check? Again, we don't know that because they're still negotiating everything out. So as soon as we get those details, we will absolutely let you know right away. So we just don't have an answer to that quite yet. But either this week or next week, we should be getting a lot of information regarding the next round of stimulus checks and the stimulus package. All right, lastly, I just want to hit on one more thing, and that is you can basically go online just about anywhere and see all of these speculative articles and on the TV, like these news stations speculating and saying all these things like $6,000 recurring every month for the next six months, or $1,200 for the next 6 months, or a one-time payment of $6,000. Just recognize that's not happening. That's not happening at all. I think all of us are going to be very lucky if we get just an additional $1,200, the $1,200 like we got the first time. I honestly think we have a very high likelihood of getting that one more time, but I think that's it. There's not going to be any of this recurring business. It's not going to be $6,000, that's for sure. The only way that it could be $6,000 is if they do the $1,200 and then they bump the $500 for the dependents. If they bump that up to $1,200, then it would be a family max of $6,000. So there's a lot of articles out there saying all of these big words and numbers and things like that. Just recognize, like, again, it's all speculation, but I highly doubt we're going to get anything like that. I think we're going to be lucky if we can sneak out an extra $1,200. Now, I just want to say this too, and a lot of you probably don't even care about this, but I just want to throw this out there. These stimulus packages, what are they? They're basically like corporate bailouts. That's all they are. They're huge corporate bailouts for all these huge multi-billion-dollar corporations that are about to go bankrupt. So what are they doing? They're passing trillions of dollars of this stimulus money that they can give to these corporations so they can save themselves from bankruptcy. And then what do they do for the people, all of us? They basically just throw us a bone, and the bone is $1,200, and it's basically hush money. They give us $1,200 of hush money and say, here, shut up, get out of here. And they give us $1,200 and send us on our way so that they can send off billions of dollars to these huge corporations. So that's basically what the stimulus check and package comes down to, is huge corporate bailouts and then giving the people $1,200 of hush money to keep us to shut up. So I realize that's probably not anything anybody cares about, but that's essentially what it boils down to. So anyway, that's about all the information we have for today as of right now. However, there's going to be a lot of more, just a tons of information this week because, as they negotiate this next one out. So I'm excited to see what comes out of this, and we should be getting answers maybe this week. If it's, I don't think we're going to get too much for answers this week, but there probably will be a lot of updates. However, I think we're going to get some information next week, which will be very, very good. So be sure to continue watching. And of course, I have your back. I'll continue watching everything for you, and I'll give it to you, that information, as quickly as I get it. So have an awesome day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching this. And again, if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks again. See ya.